So please welcome Gurbachan Singh Randhawa, sir.
Yes, please.
Good evening.
I'm happy that you are recording my program today, and I hope that I will be able to justify.
Yes, sir. Justification तो आप जरूर करेंगे सर. तो I am perfectly sure कि आप आपका जो show ये the when you talk people will be motivated. ये काफी अच्छी बात है सर. So I just wanted to see how is the weather now in the place where you're staying, sir.
Now your voice was not clear. I couldn't hear you. That what did you say?
I'm no problem, sir. So how is the weather out then in place where you're staying?
Weather is perfectly all right. Very fine now.
Okay.
Cloudy weather.
Cloudy weather. Okay. So people call you the Superman of Indian athletics. How do you feel about that statement?
I don't know that how they have decided to call me the super, but personally speaking, that if I compare my achievements with Milkha Singh, I stand nowhere because he is the person who could break that Olympic record, and he won the gold medal in Commonwealth Games. Of course, I was in '62. I was declared the best Asian athlete and finalist in the Olympics. But compared to Milkha Singh, I think that his achievements are much higher than me.
Okay, wonderful. That is so nice of you to see. To say. In fact, recently I had also sent you the picture where you were there and Ajmer Singh sir was there, Makhan Singh and Milkha Singh sir was there. That picture, the four of you standing together. And can you just tell me when was that picture taken?
No, there was no Makhan Singh there in the picture. That photograph, it was clicked during our Olympic camp at contiguous stadium, Bangalore. And one is the Ajmer Singh. Then next to Ajmer is myself. Then Milkha and Jagdish Singh.
Jagdish Singh. Okay. Old in current times when people talk about fitness and body, they talk about the six-pack abs, the muscles and the tummy, which is like the six muscles. In those days in 1960s, where people bothered about that.
Frankly speaking, that we didn't know much of that, and on the top of that, during our heydays, even that weight training. It was very controversial. Very few athletes they used to do. I mean to say that only few throwers. Otherwise, mostly athletes they never did any weight training. And especially me, throughout my career, I never did any weight training. I used to do a lot of stretching and strengthening exercise with my body weight.
Okay. So there was never a talk about six-pack abs as it is now.
No, nothing of the nothing.
Okay. So when I was researching about you, it's like interesting facts about you, about your childhood and in the village Nangli. Can you just talk about your childhood and how is this village? Just tell us a brief about that, sir.
I was born in a very small village, and you will be surprised to know that we don't have even the post of still today. And but in that small village, we have produced about 6-7 hurdlers of national repute.
Wow, and that's wonderful.
Only the farmer they used to do that cultivation, lot of tubewells. During that day there were no tubewells, but now at present there are so many tractors and there is no dearth of tubewells, etc. Okay. And now we have got a proper even play field quite close to our house.
Okay. So were you also involved in farming also during, like when you are not studying, do you used to work in the farms also in your younger days?
Yes, I do. I used to go with my grandfather. We used to bring that fodder for the cattle and the cows, etc. And we used to help even the labor people always there.
Okay. Maybe that would have been the start of your strength training, carrying the fodder.
I can't say it was the normal routine of life. Okay. And every young or small boy, as per their capability, they used to do.
Wonderful, sir. So, but in your family, you came from a family of sportsmen. When your father was also a sportsman. Just tell us a bit about the sports people in your family. Apart from you, who else were in sports, sir?
Because my father, Major Tahir Singh Randhawa, when he was in college, he in the university, he was during those days there used to be no 100-meter hurdle, but 120-yard hurdle. He was first in 120-yard hurdle, 220-yard hurdle, long jump, triple jump, and I think maybe one or two events. At the same time, he was the captain of college of volleyball, football, and one more. I don't know, one more discipline. He was the volleyball, football, and athletics.
Okay, wonderful.
And
And your
apart from you will be surprised to know that when I joined the college in 1956, I broke my father long jump record after 20
wow,
years.
wow, that is it stood for 20 years.
After 20 years.
So it is like you were meant to be in that sport, and you have to break the record.
Now, on the top of that, you know that my elder brother, Harpajit Singh Randhawa, he was very good 100-meter hurdler. He was first in that All India University as well as Punjab University. And once he was declared that best athlete of Punjab University, he was also very good that kabaddi player. And
Okay.
after retiring from the active sports, he joined the INES and he retired as a chief coach, National Institute of Sport, Patiala.
Wonderful, sir. That's so nice to hear, sir. So in the school, you are doing extremely well in football and volleyball. And so, what made you that shift to athletics? Because those were also good games, and you're extremely good at it, like an all-rounder. Athletics shift. How did it happen, sir?
Basically, I started my sports, that is the volleyball and football, when I was in ninth class. So in our school, our that headmaster and second master, as well as that physical training instructor, they were very fond of sports. And before that morning assembly, we used to play for 1 hour. Then in the evening, in the half time, midday, we used to play volleyball. And after that school, we used to play volleyball, football, and few event of athletics.
Okay, that's nice. There's a great story of you jumping over a badminton net, while going to drink water. My question, I mean, the story has been said many, many times, but what made you jump over it and not go under it? Anything was there at that time, or you are so busy, I mean, you did not even think about it?
I don't know. You can call me a naughty person because after playing the volleyball, I was feeling thirsty, and there was the hand pump. And on the way to the hand pump, there was that badminton net where our headmaster, second master, and other teachers they used to play. I don't know as to how it had come to my mind. While going to the pump, I just jumped over the net, had my water, and came back and started playing.
Okay. I mean, jumping over a normal net. This is like a badminton net, and what? It was 5 feet over at that point of time.
Height, though that is the 5 feet, but I never knew that what is the height, what was the height of that. But
Okay.
when after that, our second master, Master Singh Randhawa, he called me. He asked me that why did you jump over the net? I said I didn't jump because I was afraid that he may beat me. I said no, I didn't jump. He said he made a promise that I must tell him the reality and he will never beat me. I said
Okay.
of course I jumped. He said that can you jump once again? I said I can keep on jumping throughout the day. There is no problem. Then I jumped over the net twice or thrice, and he, the person who said that you can be a very good high jumper. And
Okay.
few days after that, we had a district athletics championship, district Amritsar, and I came first in high jump.
That is even more amazing. I'm like, there's no formal training, and in few days you went and won the
No,
district level.
no, at that time we never had that any high jump stand or bar. We never knew that what is the crossbar, and there were no stands even. Only he sent my entry, and I participated there in the district meet. And the same year, I was first in that the divisional two athletic championship. And after that, I never saw back. I kept on doing my athletics. And but at our village, at our well, where my father during his heydays, he used to do training. We had a high jump stand and
Okay.
the long jump pit proper, but no takeoff. And
Okay.
not me, even of my age, other young boys, they used to come daily in the evening to jump, which is very common in Punjab, in all villages.
Okay. So that's fantastic. So at that point of time, you were doing the traditional jump, which was just normal jump. At later point of time, did you try doing the other side, the Fosbury flop, which became quite famous later? At the later point of your career, when you're doing the decathlon, did you ever try that other style?
Because when I was there in the college, that the Decathlon was not introduced in that All India University or university, and I had never heard that what is Decathlon. I had come to know only when I joined the police in 1958, and in '59 I participated first time at Calcutta, and only then I could come to know that there are 10 events and the jumps and throws and this and that thing. Otherwise, during my college days, I never heard of decathlon.
Okay. So you were a star athlete when you came to college. You broke your father's record also. Fantastic. So
No,
did
I broke his record when I was in the second year. But
okay.
normally my event, it was the high jump and javelin throw, triple jump, and they used to ask me to run 200 meters in the medley relay, which we won that Punjab University.
Okay, that's nice. So, the shift to decathlon, who was the person who influenced you to do that shift?
Mr. N.K. Das, Nandkishore Das, once I think most probably 1953-54, he was from Orissa and he was the national champion with very less points. And he was the deputy superintendent of police in the Central Police. And he asked me that I am good in javelin, long jump, high jump, this thing, that thing. And he asked me to do that decathlon. I said I don't know how to do the pole vault, but he was very sure that he will be able to guide me, and I'm thankful to him that he did get that vaulting box, not a wooden, only that in the ground, and he asked me that you plant the pole like this way, that way. So he's the person who guided me, and meanwhile he also made arrangement for improvised hurdles, which I started doing in the police. But even my during the college days, I I had created that new all of that Punjab University record in '58 for 100-meter hurdle, and I was the best athlete in 1958.
Okay. You seem to be natural in everything you do. Was there anything you could not do in sports during your heydays?
No, I was so confident that whatsoever even, but for studies, I was
Okay.
sure that I will be able to do, and I never faced any problem in that. But as I told that, but for studies, I was never comfortable in my studies.
Was it like right from the beginning, or you never liked it,
But
or
right from the beginning, somehow I had no interest in studies. I don't know why.
okay. So first national games, and you won a gold medal. In 1960, very young age, 21. How was the feeling of winning that medal during that time?
Because I was only 21 years and we had the police games uh, in Delhi at that Kingsway Camp Police Lines, where I was the best athlete, and I received the Home Minister Gold Medal from our Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji, and was very happy to shake hands. And it was more than that because we never thought that I will be able to shake hands with Prime Minister. And after a month or so, we had that national games at Jalandhar, which were organized by that Central Sports Control Board. And when athletes from the Punjab Police, they introduced me to Mr. C.M. Mathaya, who was the national record holder at that time, that this young boy, he may give a tough competition. And he laughed. And he said, what, this young boy, he won't be able to compete with me. Okay. Anyhow, I did my best and I could create the new national record in the very first appearance, which I never thought. But I was so delighted that I could win the gold medal in the national games.
So after creating that record, what were the thoughts of Mr. Muthaiya, sir?
Because he, at that time, because he said that this boy will not be able to complete, but on the first day that I could beat him in his favorite events, just like even high jump and even the 400 meter. Next day, after that discus throw, I was leading by more than 600 points, and he decided not to do the pole vault because I had a bamboo pole, vaulting pole, whereas he had a aluminium. There never used to be that जो आजकल चल रहे हैं वो नहीं होते थे, तो फाइनल क्लास नहीं होता था. So he said that he will not participate because he knew that I was too good in that javelin throw, and he discontinued that decathlon, and there was no competition for me, and I created new national records.
So javelin, pole vault, the throwing events require different, and I know the running part of it and jumping part of it are extremely good. How did you adapt to the throwing events? Who taught you the ropes of throwing events?
Frankly speaking, nobody taught me any event in my sports career. It was but natural. You can say that it was the only God who gave me the courage and strength and determination and full confidence that whatsoever event I do, I will be able to deliver the good. I will do much better. But javelin, I had seen in that our school, our senior athletes doing the javelin. So I tried once or twice in the school, just for only sake of returning the javelin to them. And I could learn how to do javelin. And I was first in the Punjab University even in that javelin throw.
But did you take any tips from anyone? Because you need to measure the number of steps to throw it.
No, I tell you, I never used to do cross step. No, only simple way coming. But I know as a coach now, but my throwing in stance, it was absolutely perfect, and angle of release and speed of release, it was more than the required.
Okay, wonderful. Decathlon as an event requires lot of endurance, lot of strength. Just give us an insight about your training at that time, how you used to train for all these events. And I'm sure it like when it is Deca means 10, so it is 10 times more training than any other normal athletes. Please give us an insight about how you used to train during those days, sir.
Because in the morning I used to do light cross country and no track and field event otherwise, and a lot of exercises. As I told you that I used to do exercise with my body weight or stretching, strengthening, and because I was sure that if I do perfect that exercises, it will help me a lot. So definitely it helped me. But in the evening, that my practice, it was quite vigorous. I can't say whether it was systematic or not, because there was hardly any person to watch. But with the other athletes of the Central Reserve Police Force, I used to do absolutely very intensive trainings.
Okay. So was there any schedule for that, or it was like just thought of by you?
No, that it was made by me only. It was prepared by training schedule was prepared by me, Of course, then later on in 62, 63, Mr. 𝐿𝐾 he helped me a lot. And then Mr. J.S. Sani, then he taught me that what event should be done in the morning, what should be in the evening, what on the first day and what on the second day. And after doing the long jump, high jump, javelin throw, only for fun's sake, we used to run that 1,500 meters, sometimes 800 meters, sometimes the 1,000 meters. Nothing particular, nothing specific.
Okay. So I mean, it's amazing that despite that, I mean, your training was very vigorous, and I think it's like a lot of also great athletes that way are many of them are self-coached. So I think you can also say that you were also self-coached majorly, right? You used to do your own coaching.
I did my own normally, and I could get few books on athletics, and I was happy to see their photographs. And I made a mental note of all that action. And in the evening, I used to try my level best if I could do it.
Okay. At that time, social media was not there like we have now. So we got internet. We could check other people's records and what they're doing worldwide, so that you can keep a target for yourself. How were you actually keeping your targets at that point of time, sir?
I told you that there was no TV, nothing of the sort, but that press media, I must say that they were better than that present one. Mr. Randhawa, 𝐷𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐿, and other people, they were so competent, they knew each and everything of all discipline, and I say more or less they were coached. But I got the maximum encouragement from the Indian Express, Varnam and 𝐷𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐿, Times of India. They were very keen of me.
Okay. So lot of athletes also they keep their inspiration posters and things like that. Were there something like that in your room when you were staying in national camps? Anybody whom you were inspired with and you want to become like them? Any inspirations at that time, sir?
No, nothing like that. But only we used to do practice, and after that, after having that dinner, go to sleep, and the next day morning again practice, and no lunch. Then evening practice. It was the routine, and then we never used to discuss anything regarding the technique or that future or program or anything else. Only the loyalty, sincerity, and the dedication, it paid me.
Okay. How was your diet at that time, sir? What were the things you were taking? Was there any philosophy on diet, or you used to just eat what you wanted?
No, nobody told. But right from the beginning, from the villages, we were quite happy to take a lot of butter and milk. But when I started doing that vigorous training, I used to take about 10 to 12 eggs, 4 to 5 kg milk, and no fruit, nothing of the sort. Sometime in 62, 63, then Bornvita, etc.
Okay, fine.
And
That's amazing.
Very occasionally, we used to take honey even.
Honey.
No
Okay.
fruit, no juice, nothing of the sort.
Okay, fine. Was there any philosophy at that time about diet, or it was like all the athletes were same at that time? There's no consideration on that.
There was nothing special like that, but that diet, it was absolutely pure, no adulteration, nothing of that. And we used to enjoy the milk and the butter and ghee, etc. So there was no problem. I never faced any problem. And whatsoever strength I got, it was with the proper diet only.
Okay. So, and once the national games was over, and you created a national record. How did your family react to you winning that? How was the family support for you at that time, sir?
At that time, my father, he was a major in the army, and he was posted at Delhi. And my elder brother, he also took part in 1960 national game, and they both came together to congratulate me. And still, I have got a very memorable picture. They hugged me, they congratulated me. And during those days, my father, he gave me 500 rupees to take the
Wow,
property.
that is nice, sir. So, did you buy anything with that money, or was it
No,
spent on food?
then that my father, earlier I never had that any tracksuit, and then he gave me the new tracksuit. I was
Okay,
happy that I could
okay,
get the tracksuit.
okay, fine. So, when did you get your first spikes then?
Spikes, in the college even we used to have the spikes, etc. And when we were in the village, we had so many that spikes, running shoes of my father, but those were not oversized. Even then, we used to tie and do the running or jumping, this thing, that thing. But
Okay,
it- basically, when Kartar Singh was there in Delhi, he was a very good person who used to make very good shoes. Another
okay,
was Mr. Roshan Patiala. So we used to pay 20 rupees to Kartar Singh, and he will get us a very good shoes. And the same shoes and the same nails will be used for hurdles. It will be for that long jump. It will be for the 1,500 meter, and
okay.
all even only one shoes,
All even only one shoes.
only one
So,
shoe.
okay. And how long the shoes used to last for you? I mean, how long? Before you change it.
No, in '62, once I saw that Puma shoes, that Adidas shoes with Milka Singh, and I requested him, and I purchased one shoe from him in 1962 at National Stadium, New Delhi.
Okay,
And I was only fond of that Puma shoes, not Adidas. Even in the Olympics 1964, I ran with the Puma shoes. I
okay.
had a number of competition in German, and I was, of course, approached many times by Adidas, but I said I feel much more comfortable with that Puma shoes.
It was an unofficial brand endorsement by you.
But I can't say because very, very fit, very light.
Okay, nice. So let's come to the Arjuna Award. I mean, you were actually bestowed the famous honor, the first athlete to get the Arjuna Award, 1961. Very young. In fact, that story of you going to the Arjuna Award is very interesting. And just tell us, how did you feel getting this honor, and how was it meeting the president?
No, I never knew that. Nobody ever knew that what is Arjuna Award because it was introduced in 1962 and was given for the year 1961. But I don't know that how my case was considered because I hardly participated in 61. But in 62, I was the best Asian athlete where I won the gold medal in the Decathlon Jakarta. And they may have given me for that. But no recommendation during those days. And it was very secret. Only I was informed that I am selected and I have to go to the President House to receive the Arjuna Award. And we never knew that what is Arjuna Award. But when I had been there, not only the athlete, I'm the first sports person to receive the Arjuna Award in the country because it started alphabetically and with athletics, I was called number one. And
Okay.
I was delighted to meet Shri Radhakishan-ji. So,
Wonderful. So yeah, I mean, also then 2005, then Abdul Kalam ji also you had met for your Padma Shri Award also.
I got the Padma Shri in 2005 from Abdul Kalam ji.
Okay. How was it meeting him, sir? It's very interesting to know how was it meeting Abdul Kalam ji, sir.
Because he had some fractured arm. So, and in the college, that in the president house, nobody gets an opportunity to talk to the president. He
Okay.
comes, gives away that award, then congratulate, shake hand, nothing else, nothing
Okay.
after that.
Okay. So I mean, Arjuna Award at that point of time was must have been. How was the reaction in the media because you're the first athlete to get it?
There was nothing special in that. It's only the list was given that such and such so many athletes, they have, sports person, they have been given Arjuna Award. And moreover, that people never knew that what is Arjuna Award. It was the new and that started only in 62. So
Okay.
there was not much of the publicity during our days.
So 1962 Asian Games, where you won the not only the Best Athlete Award in Asia, but also won the gold medal for India for decathlon. In fact, the story of that is interesting, and you are about to give up, in that event till Saini sir came and motivated you. Just tell us about that story, sir.
Now, when I had battled that national record during the trials at Bangalore, I had developed an elbow, shoulder, and problem behind the knee, and it was very, very painful. And I was not sure as to whether I will be able to complete or not. But of course, I did that 100-meter hurdle, and I could do well in that semi-final. But after that, there was a lot of swelling, and I told Mr. Sani that it will not be possible for me to complete the decathlon. So I had decided almost not to participate. But he's the person who motivated me. He said there's no competition. Please do it. With great difficulty, I could manage to do 3 events. Then I couldn't give my best in that high jump. But I don't know as to how it happened. When I ran 400 meters, I was reluctant to run 400 meters. There used to be only 6 lanes. So I was given 6 lanes, and standing start was allowed during those days. I took the standing start, the 400 meter, but I was not sure whether I will be able to complete or not. Anyhow, when I completed the race, I collapsed after the finish. When I saw the scoreboard, I was very upset. I was most unhappy because I could see that 58.4 seconds. I said very bad timing. 58 is very bad. But when I saw next time carefully, it was 48.4 seconds in the decathlon.
Okay.
And after that Gurbachan, it was the best 3rd time in the Asia in 400 meters in 1962.
Wonderful, and then you actually even beat the competitor by around 500 plus points at that time. So it was a big lead for you at that time also when you won.
We somehow, I used to do a lot of that 120 meters, 150 meters, 250 meters, a lot of repetition. And I had a tremendous stamina and equally good speed. So that is why I could do better in the 400 meters. Even many times, I did the 200 meters in 21.3 seconds. And once or twice, I won the All India Prize, even 200 meters, 400 meters, and many other events.
Okay. So during your days at that time as an athlete, you were also known to there are a lot of, like, for example, long jump. There was a name for a jump which was traditionally done by you, the Randhawa cut. Can you just tell us about it, sir?
No, it was not the Randhawa cut in the long jump. It was in the high jump.
High jump. Okay, sorry.
I never used to do straddle or this and that thing. I sometimes Eastern cut off, sometimes straddle, but I never knew Western roll or any other thing. Once or twice, when I failed to cross the ball, then I will come from the 90 degree, just like a long jump. I will jump and with both legs together, just like a long jump, cross ball. And it was called, now Randhawa will do his own Randhawa cut.
Okay, good. So after the Asian Games, you had a lot of injuries which could not be rectified. Is that true?
No, as I told, no physiotherapist, no doctor, no facility during our days. But I am grateful to our then Mr. R.T. Nagarani. He used to be our Assistant Inspector General of Police and who retired as the first Director General National Security Board. His brother-in-law, very famous orthopedic surgeon, 𝐈𝐴𝐭𝐲. He is the person who treated all my ailments, and even that he arranged a physiotherapist who was the wife of that UK Army advisors. And that lady, I am grateful to her that she could give the proper treatment And when asked me that who will make the payment, I said who else will make, I have to make the payment. Though it was not the reality, but I don't know that who was to make the payment. I said I have to make. Then he said, Mr. Singh, I'm sorry, I will not charge you a single penny from you. I am happy that you are fully cured and you are now fit to participate in any of the event.
Wow, that is so nice at that point of time, to help you that way. So and but the switch to 110-meter hurdles happened after the Asian Games. Who actually advised that you are already good in it? But the question is that who helped you to master that event for you, sir?
No, nobody. I don't know. It had come to my mind because, as I told you, that I did well even in the university. Even in 1962, I could do 14.5, and we had one international competition where Uganda got independence, and I ran there 120 yards in 14.4 seconds. So that the race of 14.4 seconds gave me a lot of encouragement, and I decided that it will be the very good event. And moreover, I always used to enjoy it. I was very comfortable in the saddle because I had a lot of flexibility, mobility, and agility coupled with speed.
Okay. In one of the interviews, I also read that during that time you were also very thankful to the Hungarian coach Joseph Kovacs, who had visited. Tell us how was the meeting and what are the things he helped you with, sir?
He was a very thorough gentleman and who himself was the 400-meter hurdler in the Olympics. And he was very much interested, and I am grateful to him that he taught me the proper warming up for the hurdles. He said that we, the Indian, we do all even the long jumper, high jumper, javelin throw, we do the same type of warming up. But warming up is required individual event. So he told me how to do the wind sprints, how many do the rounds, this thing, that thing, and how to do the warming up over the hurdles. And he, of course, guided me in a very befitting manner, which paid me a very good dividend.
Okay. How much time did he recommend for warming up before the event?
Well, you know that warming up is you have to ask a typical question. It depends on the weather. If that we have to if any athlete has to do the warming up in that winter, so it will take definitely more time. If it is raining, it may take more than 5 or 10 minutes more. But in summer, it takes less time. But normally warming up, that is 45 minutes during our days. And first of all, that 2 rounds light jogging, then loading exercises, then wind sprints, then lot of that stretching exercise, then ready for the regular training.
Okay. So and after that, the Asian Games, you went to the 1964 Olympics. You had raced extensively in Europe. Tell us about that. I mean, how did that help? And at that point of time, when you went to Europe, what were the things you saw was different as compared to our training methods?
The team that we had gone to Javelin 64 before the Olympics, and I had participated in 10 competition, and I was first in 9. I lost one race in Switzerland, but I must say that during my all competition in Germany, I didn't face any stiff competition. As the German people, they never allowed their best hurdler to participate with me, but
Okay.
still I could do 14.1 second, 14.3 seconds, and many more races. But it helped me a lot and made me mentally prepared to participate in the various type of competition that whether if sometimes it rains, if it is hot, it is otherwise. And that my all competition, they were an asset to me to gave my best performance in 1964 Tokyo Olympics.
Okay. So, were there any difference in what they were doing as compared to what you were doing when it comes to training? When any differences you found at that time, which you said, okay, fine, maybe I can also start doing from now onwards.
No, never. I didn't observe anything, and on the top of that, I didn't discuss anything with any athlete because I never knew how to speak German, and the German athlete, we never used to mix up with each other. Only the Indian athlete, they will remain together, and nothing special. What should be done? What should be the diet, or what should be the training? What should other thing? Nothing like that.
Okay. So, 1964 Olympics, you also had some support from across the border. You had a very good friend from Pakistan. So tell us about your friendship with him, sir.
Mr. 𝐏𝐫𝐮𝐲𝐽, who won a gold medal in 58 Asian Games, 54, silver in 62, and again he won a gold medal in 66, and he was the Commonwealth champion twice. He was a very close friend of mine, very jolly fellow. And before the Olympic, he said that Sardarji, you will come the last. I said, let us see who comes the last, you or me. But even frankly speaking, I never expected that I will be able to qualify. But I was sure that whatsoever performance I had given, I will be able to repeat or maybe may improve. Mr. Boson and Mr. 𝐏𝐫𝐮𝐽, they were there at Tokyo, and they said that you are capable and you will do it. And so in the heats, I did 14.3 seconds, and as a best loser, I could qualify, whereas my fast friend 𝐏𝐫𝐮𝐽, he was out. Then he started joking, laughing. Brother, you are lucky only that you have. But tomorrow you will be the last. I said, okay, let us see. Next time we had a semi-final and it was raining. Temperature it was 14 degrees Celsius. And we never had a synthetic track. It was a cinder track. There was water on the track. And when I ran, I came second with 14.0 seconds. And immediately he came running to me, "Oh, Sardarji, you have done well. Now I am sure that you will win medal in the final." And he took me to, he was an experienced athlete. I never knew where are the restrooms, this thing. So he took me to that inside, and he gave me some massage. He said, okay, now you must be fully prepared and mentally prepared that you have to see the victory stand. I was so encouraged that he was so interested, and we had final after 2 hours 50 minutes, and it was still raining, and temperature it had come to 13.4 Celsius, and I'm lucky that again I did 14.0 second. I got the 5th place in the Olympics.
Okay. I mean, that brings you were the only Asian athlete, and that was a close finish, right, for everyone. So you got 13.6, 13.7, 13.8, and 14. The timings at the finals were very close. The timings in the finals in 1964 Olympics was very close. Was it a close finish for all?
Very close.
Okay. So, Ahmed, you were racing at very close, right? So you were racing at a time.
I got the 4th place, 5th place. No, I got the 14 second. He also did 14.0 second.
Okay.
Very close, very close.
Okay. So when you were racing and participating, and for the country, at that point of time, you were not paid. I mean, there was no thing of allowances and all. How did you motivate yourself to participate and to in all this competition? Hello. Point of time, there was no payment done for participating in for the country. How did you motivate yourself at that time, sir?
No, we never heard that any payment will be made, even in the Arjuna Award, if are even creating the new national record or anything. There was no incentive at that time. I don't blame any person because there was no scheme as such. So we never had that sports ministry. Sports was under the Ministry of Education, and now all the athletes now they are getting a lot of facilities, so much that incentives. But during our
Okay.
days, we never had any such scheme.
Okay. So how did you motivate yourself at that time, sir?
But when I used to get money from my father, even when most of the time in the camps or in the parties, when I used to participate, I never used to get the pay from the CRPF even. So
Okay.
my father, he used to extend me help, and moreover during in the camps, everything it was very. We used to get a diet of 8 rupees per day, and 8 rupees during those days, it was enough money.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, after athletics, after participating, you also became a coach. How was this transition of being a coach? Tell us about a bit about your coaching years, also, sir.
No, I did my diploma in 1969, and after that, I trained at all the decathlete and the hurdlers, and I'm happy that even my trainees they could break my record. And even 1982 Asian Games, all my that hurdler, the 100 meter and the 400 meter hurdler, all were the finalists, and Praveen Jolly got the bronze medal in 100 meter hurdle.
Okay. So, you have been recently been appointed, I know, as part of the selection committee for senior athletes. Tell us about bit about that role, sir. What would you be? You're chairing a committee of a lot of other athletes also. Tell us about that committee, sir.
No, I'm basically I'm the chairman for the last 16 years. And normally in other federation, even in the theatres, earlier, only the president of the concerned federation, they are the chairman. But when Mr. Kalmari was there, he said to Lalit Virodji that when Randhawa is there, why he should be the chairman. He said make Randhawa as the chairman, and since 2005, I am the chairman, selection committee, and I am satisfied. I am very happy that I am getting the very good support from all the federation members and very good cooperation with the coaches, athletes, and
Okay.
athletes. They are doing good performance. But I have always showed that selection is made purely on the performance and not on the reputation.
Okay.
And sometimes if somebody has approached, nobody can dare even, but once or twice somebody said, I will not at any cost include the person who has not qualified.
Okay. So, when it comes to looking at potential of athletes, what are the things you look for in an athlete? Which makes you realize that okay, this person would have potential going forward. What are the things which you look for, sir, based on experience?
During these days, training has become a more or less a science with a lot of you have facilities, medical facilities, other facilities. So athletes, they are being trained by the very expert coaches as per their events, and they know much better than me what type of training, systematic training, and what specific exercise they should ask them to do, how many repetitions, this thing, that thing, and they manage even their competition. And I don't interfere in their training because my business is only to do the selection, nothing else.
Okay, fine. So we've been speaking close to 1 hour now, so I'll come to my final question to you, sir. Final advice for athletes who can become another Randhawa.
No, you know that I only request the young athletes that government is not leaving any stone unturned to ensure that more than required facilities are provided to them. They get very good diet, they get competition, they get a lot of incentive, cash money, and they must work hard systematically and remain in discipline. And the main thing is that their dedication and discipline. They
Okay.
should not try to become a professional. Or
Okay. Fantastic, sir. So it's been wonderful actually speaking to you and hearing about you and your achievements, and your advice has been really good, sir. I thank you for coming in, sir.
I am very happy that All India's runner motivation people, they have recorded my statement, and I hope that it will be of some use to the young generation. I wish you and all sports person all the best. Very good luck. Thank you.